Hi, Gem fam. Welcome to February 2019. A shout out to all my Gemini best friends. You guys have been extra spectacular in the last week, and I'm just really happy you're in my life. Like, you know who you are. You people have my back 1000% and just light up my life. So, yeah. And February, you guys ready for a wackadoodle month? Because oh man, it took me a while to feel this one out because it has an interesting quality to it. I think partially that's because like Aquarius into Pisces season, we're ascending up, right? We're in 11th and 12th house energy. So it always kind of comes with this. It's not so much about grounding and digging into the material. It's much more about going up and thinking and going up and feeling. And so there's just that energy. But that, not only that, we're just shifting gears so majorly for these longer transits. And so we've been kind of working through that for the last few months, and we're February and March, we're working our way through the last shifts into these like 7 or 8 new cycle of 7 or 8 years. So February, we're still kind of holding tight, shifting gears. For gems, you guys, this is a huge time of reassessment, worldview shifting energy. I know you guys have been going through a lot of that for the last like 6 months. I feel like we've been talking a lot about how you've had to re-envision what your future is and what your life is going to look like. I feel like every reading, I'm like, don't worry, you got to just trust the change. And I know you guys are mutable air, which is so you have a strength in being able to imagine the possibilities and use that mental quickness to shift quickly. However, even you guys with your beautiful big hearts need some support when it comes to this. So it's just funny that that's kind of been the theme, but there's just been this energy around you guys of like, we've got to tear something down and start something new. So for me, power dynamics was a big word that came up for gems, and also worldview shifting, perspective shifting kind of energy. All the dynamics of what's shifting in February are geared to get you shifted both internally and externally. They're hitting into very specific pockets for you. For example, the sun is moving through 9th and 10th house energies for you, so your philosophical and travel house and your reputation in the world house. So you've got that working at you with planets kind of moving through those energies. We have a new moon in Aquarius, which is very philosophical for you guys, 9th house, 3 of Swords. Yeah. Working through some old hurts, working through some old wounds, working through some old ways of seeing yourself. It's coming up for you guys real strong. And the thing with February is it's dreamy, it's not grounded, and it's a little mysterious and mystifying for everyone. So, but everybody's wanting answers in February. Everybody's wanting a clear path, a clear view. And so there's this disconnect. Everybody's wanting that. And it's like February's like, no, we're going to sit back and we're going to dream up some stuff. We're going to go to some psychic places. We're going to go to some deep places. So you have a new moon in Aquarius in your 9th house of philosophy, of how you view the world, your beliefs, your traditions, your everything. And new moons are always about setting new intentions with that. And then we are getting some new energy as well. Mars is moving into Taurus, your 12th house of spirituality, which is a really interesting placement. Mars in Taurus is like, Mars just wants to rah, 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 and Taurus is that beautiful earthy femininity. And so those two mix, it's that combativeness of like which one's going to win out, but there's this focus and this drive on taking care of your spiritual energy. Chiron is moving into Aries, which is about your friendships, your community, and that is a long transit. So this is something to think about. Chiron's moving into Aries on February 18th, and that's a transit that goes till 2027. 9 of Pentacles. Wow. Oh my God, this month is blowing my mind for things like this popping up. 3 of Swords and 9 of Pentacles. What? Okay. There's stuff going on. So you have Chiron in Aries for 8 years or something. Another one of these long transits. We're prepping for Uranus to go into Taurus for about 7 or 8 years in March. For yeah, so we're going into these energetic cycles. You are looking at what community means to you, what friendship means to you, and learning how to heal your connection to your community in various ways, and to your humanitarian efforts, what you give to the world, what you want to produce in the world. Page of Wands. Okay. Wow, gems. The other big thing that's coming up for you is that we have a full moon in Virgo at 0 degrees of Virgo. That is an intense invitation for you all to look at your home environments and your internal environments and the environments that you keep for yourself. 3 of Cups came in. All right. Well, it's social, it's fun, it's playful. There's just this underpinning of energy working at you with all this shifting around. But that 0 degree moon in your 4th house energy, especially for Gem rising, is going to be working with you and figuring out what a good home environment looks like. 10 of Cups. All right. We're getting this. What is going on with you guys? I'm already I'm looking at my notes. I'm double checking the notes, looking at the cards, looking at whoa, 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands. These are all, there's a lot of movement going on here. There's a lot of pieces moving around. I think the thing is when you're in the midst of it, it doesn't feel like it has a sense to it, a sense of making sense. And so you may feel just kind of like you're floundering or something. But, the Death card showed up again. I swear, do you guys get this every month? What is going on? Yeah, you're transforming. You've been morphing a lot, hugely in the last 6 or 7 months. It's been all about morphing for you guys. Okay, let's get into these cards because there's a lot happening here. You are needing to leave some things behind. And I think a lot of you, it's just mostly a perspective thing. Some of you, it's a very literal leaving behind. But we started off with 3 of Swords. Now, 3 of Swords, of course, the more superficial reading of this card is, betrayal or third-party situation, which I find just so vapid and uninteresting when people talk about that. Here's the deal. 3 of Swords is about where we self-betray and where we hurt our heart chakra by telling ourselves negative things, acting negatively, hurting, lashing out, or feeding into old patterns that don't serve us anymore, feeding into old things, because what we're basically doing when we have 3 of Swords energy is putting those knives in our heart, thinking it's going to do something for us. And so 3 of Swords is always asking us, what situations are we putting ourselves in that hurt? Where are we not listening to our intuitive guidance? Once again, we're in Aquarian energy, we're in Piscean energy. These are energies that are about, connecting in with the bigger picture. And we have to kind of innovate with these energies. They ask us to transform and innovate and go to that place. So themes are coming up for you of where you're doing things that are maybe unhealthy or things that aren't serving you or things that are painful to you that you don't need to do anymore, because you're actually getting redirected to all this good stuff that's right next to it. 9 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, 3 of Cups, right? This is the good stuff of life. This is the beautiful stuff of life. And in fact, if the cards are showing this all around you, lean into it. Lean into it. Lean into, that full moon in Virgo, that 0 degree full moon. Lean into how you want to change your home environment. Lean into how you want to provide for yourself on a physical, nurturing level. Lean into your friendships and into that connection and source. Lean into that community. Lean into surprise information coming in. Page of Wands can bring a lot of movement and opportunity. But the thing is, you've got to follow that Page of Wands. You've got to follow that 9 of Pentacles, and you have to follow that 3 of Cups. And sometimes we think the 3 of Swords is where we're getting our protection, where we're getting our information, where we are supposed to be diving in. And yet it's misleading, because it's a lot of times this has to do with if we can get nervous about it or anxious about it or think about it or plan over it, it will somehow make it better. But what you're being told to do is put this in the background. whatever this is, whatever pattern, person, situation this is, you have all this other stuff that's like, hey, over here. And you have the option this month of either leaning into that, the old patterning, the old fears, the old thoughts, or leaning into all this possibility and all this warmth around you. And there's some surprise element coming in for you guys. That Page of Wands is a big, new, bold surprise. It's something that is offering a newness, a freshness to come in. And it has to do with your community. It has to do with your surroundings and who you're surrounded by. And it's a good thing. It's a good shift, but you've got to follow the lead of the page. Otherwise, you could spend this month kind of dreamy and lost and confused, and you won't even know that these opportunities have come and gone, and you will wonder what's going on. But these are all beautiful. Now, you do have transformational energy popping up pretty strongly in the last 4 cards. So as we move into Pisces season, as we're moving into, this is actually, 10th house energy for you, what you do in the world, your reputation in the world, how you put your foot down in the world, how you move through the world is coming up for you. And you have some invitations for change. Now, here's what's interesting. What I'm noticing is that actually your close relationships in your friendships, in your community, in your family are doing very well. You have the 3 of Cups, you have the 9 of Pentacles, and now you have the 10 of Cups, right? These are all fantastic for relationship, for relating, for connecting, for finding community and home and love. It's a very, very love-filled energies going on here for you. Social and caring and kind and supportive of you. So you have that. But gems, here's the thing with you guys. Internally, I think there's a lot more going on. And I would highly recommend with this transitional month, the way that it is, the fogginess of it, the strangeness of it, the inventiveness of it, and the surprise of it. It's all working on all those levels. Give yourself pockets of time where you can explore this transition thing, because these next 3 cards are telling me there's something much bigger going on. And I don't think it's all about destruction on the real world level. It's about an emotional shifting that is going on, and it's quite profound, because you have 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands, and Death. And these cards are about movement. Look, they're all going in the same direction. Right? They are all headed toward this new horizon. And the 6 of Swords and the Death card are absolutely about leaving behind something that no longer serves you. It is about shedding a skin, not quite literally, it could be, but it's about shedding something that's not serving you anymore. A thought pattern, a habit, a personality, a situation, a home environment, an old relationship, a past way of viewing yourself or your value. You are getting scrubbed free of that energy. Now, in the middle, though, we have this card of triumph, the 6 of Wands, which is about that creative triumph, that ability to move forward and forge into new territory and feel amazing and empowered and clear-sighted. It's all happening all at once. So you may be noticing that as something's leaving, as something's shifting, as something's transforming and feeling like you're losing it, like it's in the rear view mirror and it's getting smaller and smaller, as you're feeling that you are no longer who you were even 1 month ago, you're also feeling and getting fed this new, bright, brilliant, loving energy that is about happiness, contentment, and joy. Now, here's the thing, you guys. You've got to trust in that loss, in that pulling, that sense that something's pulling away or leaving your life. And like I said, this can come in so many formats. A lot of you, I feel like this is just a way of perceiving yourself and your value in the world. But some of you, this is going to be very literally a relationship, a situation, a career move, or something like that that's no longer serving you. You have to trust that that was not for you, or that its time had come and gone, and that's okay. You have to trust that this next thing is coming into you. Now, that's where the amorphousness of this month starts to hit, because it's very much like you can tell things are shifting, you can tell things are leaving, you can tell you're headed toward new territory, but it's not fully formed, and it can make you feel a little bit like you're floating in this space vacuum where it's neither this or this, but it's that counterintuitive thing that the more you trust in the formlessness of it, the more the form comes to meet you. So it's a bit of a mind riddle there. How to use, your analytical mind. It can be a weapon or it can be a tool. I'm going to pull one more card for you guys because that death card is just leaving me on that note of curiosity. What fell? Ace of Cups. That just fell on the floor. I think you can see the pattern here. There's a very clear pattern for you guys. I think the first part of this month you have to trust. The second part of this month, you'll see why you had to trust. Everything is a catalyst right now for you specifically, Geminis. Everything is this catalyst for you in building a life that's more authentic to who you are. And there's been a lot that's been stripped away in order to create that space. When we get into March, I will be talking about Taurus and Uranus for you guys because it's an interesting placement for gems. And it does mean that you've got these longer transits are working at two very interesting parts of your chart, your 11th and 12th houses, which have to do with this big vision energy. So you've got these very revolutionary energies pinging at a very profound part of your life experience over the next 7 or so years. So the cycle for you is very profound, and there's been a lot of prep to get you ready for this. And this is just one of the last little shifting pieces that we need. So trust in this. Trust in how this is morphing. It's morphing in a way that you will not, from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, I tell you what, you will be surprised by how it plays out, how it supports you, how it shapes up, how it solidifies, but it does take a certain level of in order to connect with it. Okay, guys, I'm going to close it out there. I will be adding to the Flow series in February. I'm really excited. I'm going to be close to the water, so it's going to be very much influenced by that, so I'm very excited to connect a little bit more with that energy as we work through that. So I will leave the link for the Flow series below. We have the first episode up. There will be many more. I also have Year Ahead still on Vimeo as well, so I'll leave the link for that. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She has been hard at work. She's about to go get a whole bunch of new stuff in her store. She's giving you that 15% off discount. I wear her every day. Her stuff is filled with love. She is the one-woman show. She makes everything, and she makes it with so much love. She is the most heart-centered and wonderful person, one of the most amazing people I know, and that's why I support her, and I have her on this channel, because I love her, and I love her work, and I love what she does. So go check her out. Her Etsy shop will be linked below. You can find me on Instagram at @SarahTarot, or you can find me on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I do private readings. I'm booking a few months in advance, so you gems that want a birthday reading, I would highly recommend popping over there and booking close to your birthday so we can have a chat about your new solar year. I would love to do that with you. I love you guys so much. I appreciate every one of you, and I will see you in March.